Wait, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Cecily Cardew.
Cecily Cardew? What a very sweet name. Something tells me that we are going to be great friends. I like you already more than I can say. My first impressions of people are never wrong.
How nice of you to like me so much after you've known each other such a comparatively short time. Pray, sit down.
I may call you Cecily, may I not?
Pleasure.
And you shall always call me Gwendolyn, won't you?
If you wish.
Then it is quite settled, is it not?
I hope so.
Perhaps this might be a favourable opportunity for me mentioning who I am. My father is Lord Bracknell. You have never heard of Papa?
I don't think so.
You're on a short visit, I suppose.
Oh no, I live here.
Really? Your mother, no doubt, or some female relative of advanced years resides here also?
Oh no, I have no mother, nor in fact any relation.
Indeed.
My dear guardian, with the assistance of Miss President, has the odorous task of looking after me.
Your guardian?
Yes, I am Miss Worthing's ward.
Oh. He never mentioned to me that he had a ward. How secretive of him. He grows more interesting hourly. I am not sure, however, that the news inspires me with feelings of unmixed delight. I am very fond of you, Cecily. I have liked you ever since I met you. But now that I know that you're Mr. Worthing's ward, I am bound to state a wish you were, well, a little older than you seem to be, and not as very alluring in appearance. In fact, if I may speak candidly...
Pray do. I think whenever one has anything unpleasant to say, one should always be quite candid.
Well, to speak with perfect candor, Cecily, I wish you were fully 42, and not as very alluring in appearance. Ernest has a strong, upright nature. He is very soul and truth of honor. Disloyalty would be as impossible to him as deception. But even men of the noblest possible moral character are extremely susceptible to the physical charms of others.
I beg your pardon, Gwendolyn. Did you say Ernest?
Yes.
Oh, but not Mr. Ernest Worthing, who's my guardian. It is his brother, his eldest brother.
Oh. Ernest never mentioned to me that he had a brother.
I'm sorry to say they have not been on good terms for a long time.
Ah, that accounts for it. And now that I think of it, I've never heard any man mention his brother. The subject seems distasteful to some men. Cecily, you have lifted a load from my mind. I was growing almost anxious. It would have been terrible if any cloud had come across a friendship like ours, would it not? However, you are quite sure it is not Mr. Earnest Worthing who is your guardian?
Quite sure. In fact, I'm going to be his.
I beg your pardon?
Quite sure. In fact, I'm going to be his.
I beg your pardon?
Dearest Gwendolyn, there is no reason why I should make a secret of it to you. Our little county newspaper is sure to chronicle the fact next week. Mr. Ernest Worthing and I are engaged to be married.
My dear Cecily, there must be some slight error. You see, Mr. Ernest Worthing is engaged to me. The announcement will appear in the Morning Post on Saturday at the latest.
I'm afraid you must be under some misconception. But Ernest proposed to me exactly 10 minutes ago.
It is certainly very curious, for he asked me to be his wife yesterday afternoon at 5:30. If you care to verify the incident, pray do so. I never travel anywhere without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read on the train. I am so sorry, dear Cecily, if it is any disappointment to you, but I am afraid I do have the prior claim.
It would distress me more than I can tell you, dear Gwendolyn, if it has caused you any mental or physical anguish. But I feel bound to point out that since Ernest proposed to you, he's clearly changed his mind.
If the poor fellow has been entrapped into a foolish promise, I shall consider it my duty to rescue him at once, and with a firm hand.
Whatever unfortunate entanglement my dear boy may have gotten into, I will never approach him with it after we are married.
Do you allude to it, Miss Cardew? As an entanglement? You are presumptuous. On an occasion of this kind, it becomes more than a moral duty to speak one's mind. It becomes a pleasure.
Do you suggest, Miss Fairfax, that I entrapped Earnest into an engagement? How dare you? This is no time for wearing the shallow mask of manners. When I see a spade, I call it a spade.
I am glad to state that I have never seen a spade. It is obvious that our social spheres have been widely different. Are there any interesting walks in the vicinity, Miss Cardew?
Oh yes, a great many. From the top of one's hill, quite close, one can see 5 counties.
5 counties? I don't think I should like that. I hate crowds.
Suppose that's why you live in town?
Quite. A well-kept garden this is, Miss Cardew.
So glad you like it, Miss Fairfax.
I had no idea there were any flowers in the country.
Oh yes, flowers are as common here, Miss Fairfax, as people are in London.
Personally, I cannot understand how anybody who is anybody manages to exist in the country. The country always bores me to death.
Ah, this is what the newspaper calls agricultural depression, is it not? It is almost an epidemic amongst them. Would you like some tea, Miss Fairfax?
Thank you, detestable girl, but I require tea.
Sugar?
No, sugar is not fashionable anymore.
Cake or bread and butter?
Bread and butter. Cake is rarely seen in the best houses nowadays.
Hand that to Miss Fairfax.
You have filled my tea with lumps of sugar. And now I ask most distinctly for bread and butter. You have given me cake. I am known for my gentleness of disposition and sweetness of nature, but I warn you, Miss Cardew, you may go too far.
To save my poor, innocent, trusting boy from the machination of any other girl, there are no lengths which I would not go.
From the moment I saw you, I distrusted you. I saw you are false and deceitful. I am never deceived in such manners. My first impressions of people are invariably right.
It seems to me, Miss Fairfax, that I'm trespassing on your valuable time. No doubt you have many other calls of a similar character to make in the neighborhood.